What is going on? This is Rue's Reviews, where we keep it for real, for real. I am Rue, aka the Culture Black Kid.
I'm Informer, aka Ippy.
And today we are reviewing the latest project from South Carolina-born R&B artist Coco Jones. Why not more? Again, she is not just an R&B star. She is also an actress, former Disney Channel superstar from Let It Shine. Also on Bel Air. She plays
Yes.
Hilary Banks on
Yes.
Bel Air. So, across all the disciplines, but we're not here to talk about her acting. We're here to talk about her latest project. So let's kick it off and get into our overall thoughts.
Phew. All right. I think everyone was waiting for this album for the longest time, at least from what I've seen and the spaces I've been in online. I actually see this project as her first real big girl project. This album really pushes her ahead and differentiates her from her previous releases. It's a great modern, keyword modern, because some songs really step away from the genre as a whole. R&B album. I was all in brackets. And it sounds like honey. It's very, very lovely. There were a couple points where the album was lacking in terms of a range, just because she proves herself so much on majority of the songs. So there was some songs where she really held herself back, and it's like you didn't need to do that, or you could just kind of scrap them completely. Regardless, really gorgeous, and it is a testament to what she's capable of. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this is a solid R&B project. I definitely agree that you could probably consider this a bit more of the official coming out party.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything groundbreaking, but still a great fun listen. Coco's vocals are always crazy, and I'm definitely keen to get into that a smidge more. So yeah, if you need a great R&B project, then look no further. But let's get into some of the reasons why it is a great project with some pros.
All right. It's just a solid, literally, as you said, solid R&B album. It's mature for Coco Jones. Yeah, very great themes with a very classic sound that I feel like just doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. Some of the songs I was like, okay, Summer Walker. That's what I was feeling. But yeah, I think very solid, very, very classic R&B. Second thing is I feel like I really saw Coco Jones for who she is. And she really conveyed herself and her love life so well as well. Sometimes I still kind of saw her as just this Disney Channel actress. And now with this album, I really do perceive her so differently. So she did an amazing job of kind of telling a story and taking charge of it as well, and her narrative. Yeah, this album served as a beautiful reintroduction to Coco Jones. Another thing which you already kind of touched on, her voice. It's the greatest instrument on this album. There is no production or acoustic that will top the way she sings, and her ability to kind of shift from like this falsetto to like belting or to like a deep tone is really it's inspiring to me, and her range is stunning. And on that, I want to go to the standouts, and specifically, let's start with the deep tone. A E Oh My God, or AEOMG. I love how deep her voice gets in this one. And the track really got stuck in my head. Not only were her lyrics really like hard hitting and addicting, but that beat, it was like crack. I loved it so much. Taste stand out because I just wasn't expecting that. The toxic
The
sample.
toxic sample, the interpolation, yeah.
I didn't it, even though it's not, I didn't like the song, but the toxic.
Sorry.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't really like the song, but it stood out to me because of that sampling. I'll get into that later. Why Not More? I love that song. Great song. Really simple. And it didn't feel foreign on the album. I think YG Marley had a very minuscule addition to the song, which worked really well. If he did any more, if he overshadowed her, that would have been grotesque to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I also felt like the placement was good because it felt like a good breaker between a few of the songs. So it went really R&B heavy, then to a bit of a reggae vibe, then she kind of went deep. But I did like the song, surprisingly. And then Last one, Hit You Where It Hurts. I loved that stripped back feel from Coco. And this is crazy, but I love that acoustic pop energy that she just delivers. Maybe when it's coming out of a black woman, I get different about it. But yeah, gorgeous tones and sonics coming from her. And I also thought she sampled a song from Willow Smith called Rise. But after listening to the two back to back, no. But they sound eerily similar. It was very crazy. Okay, finito. I'm done.
Okay, well, dovetailing off the word sample that you used, some interesting samples, interpolations throughout, which I want to start with Here We Go, which is, if you don't know, Twister, Overnight Celebrity, Instrumental Flip, a certified classic. I am so glad that this was the lead single from this project because, especially off how good I See You from the last
Yeah.
project was, I was like, ooh, you even more as good as ICU is. I'm like, nah, this is a banger.
Yeah.
So this got me really excited for the album, just in the start,
Yeah.
and yeah, still my favorite track on the whole project. I think the songwriting is clear, done well, for the most part throughout. I think Other Side of Love uses the slow tempo, stripped back keys, drums, production for Coco. Really flex her vocals again, range, technique, staying face all around. I do think Coco can flex a bit more. She needs to flex more.
She does.
I feel like I think you mentioned it, but I feel like she reserves herself
She held
a smidge.
herself back.
She needs to next project. You need to
Yeah.
go.
Like show them.
Yeah.
Like yeah, she's been undermined for a bit too long.
For sure. I love it when we actually get like a genuinely vulnerable Future verse from Most Beautiful Design. However, and not going into a con, but this does feel more like a Future song featuring Coco Jones than a Coco Jones song featuring
Yeah.
Future. Not to sprinkle some cons in my pros, but still, I don't mind a genuinely vulnerable Future verse, but yeah, that. I think By Myself has a nice swing in the flow delivery and its hook, sweet independence anthem as well. And then Nobody Exists, Forever Don't Hit Like Before. Again, cool songs, not my favorites, but not mad at them.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go into some cons, which I feel like just before we go into some cons, this is going to be interesting because I feel like this is a project where we agree overall.
Yes.
But we're agreeing on different things.
Yes.
So let's go into cons because I'm really curious how it's going to go.
Well, I actually only have two. First thing is as I said before, but you did agree on this, I feel like some songs were differing when it came to her range. Now I'm going to use Taste again as an example. It was, for me, a bold decision and kudos, but it felt gimmicky for the album. It did not belong there. It just didn't. And on this project alone, she showcases really unique strengths. So in a way, she did not need to do all that with Taste. I think like it just took away from the album. And then I kind of had to go, okay, like, let's get past this, keep going again. Next thing is I kind of hated Most Beautiful Design with Future in London on the track. It just felt like they shoved that song in there for no reason. If I don't know, I couldn't see past the whole like Future kind of overtaking Coco, even though it was really like a vulnerable verse from him. I was kind of like, next, skip. Because, yeah, I feel like he just didn't fit on that song. I just did not think he fit on it. And then when Coco eventually came up in the song, it made sense. I was like, this sounds beautiful. It sounds logical. Like, get this man off here. I'm sorry. I was like, get him off. Get him off. I don't like him. Yeah, I just think I would have loved if this song in particular had the same structure as Why Not More with YG Marley, where Coco really dominates and then Future kind of has like 3 seconds tops to kind of show us what he's got. But those are literally my only cons.
Okay.
Was quite, yeah, I enjoyed it pretty much, but yeah.
No, for sure. I'm going to kick it off again also with Taste. I think the jury is out for me. I don't not like it, but I'm not as favorable as I would think I would like it. And I do agree that there are worse ways to interpolate stuff, but I still don't think it was the best way. I still think it was a little, like you said, gimmicky in the interpolation, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think there are a lot more disagreeable things, not on this project, on just in general. Here's where I kind of disagree with you on a couple of your pros with songs that I didn't like, which is I didn't like
Shut
AEOMG
up.
because
Shut up.
the hook was a little cheesy, using the whole vowel concept for a sexual R&B track, and I don't think it hits the
I'm
mark.
a hick girl.
Nor
Oh,
as a song
Hater.
concept in 2025, I don't think it makes sense to be there. I feel like maybe if this was in the 2010s, this would make sense, but not in 2025.
I disagree. Disagree.
So that I'm not, I don't not like it, but I'm indifferent about
Say
why not more,
I knew you were gonna say. I knew it.
because it feels like she's dipping into a Victoria Monet bag here, but it's not hitting as hard as how Victoria Monet would do it.
I agree, but I still love it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
No, it is
Like,
actually fair.
as a middle, like, I agree with the placement. Like, if it's going to be here, like the middle of the track list,
Yeah,
yep, it's a nice like dip,
yeah.
natural dip in the roller coaster that is an album. However, I was indifferent. I do get what we were saying at the top about, you know, it's a cool R&B project, nothing crazy, but if there was going to be something that was different, I don't think it was that. Or if it was going to be that, I feel like it could have gone further.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I see.
yeah, but that's it. That's my only cons.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get into our overall rating. We're here for this. Depends on the day. Feeling iffy about it. Iffy.
I'm here for it, and I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Why Not More by Coco Jones is an album that genuinely kind of really gets you in every facet. I think her songwriting is really fun, really flirty in some areas, and then in other parts she can get really personal as she draws from her journal and real experiences. Like I saw that she took parts of like literally from her journal or diary, which I thought was really lovely. I really, really loved the themes that she explored. Her way of storytelling is incredibly talented as she hits you with really silky R&B. I think it was just very classic R&B, which I like, and I feel like I have not been like listening to or like just having in my life a little. So it was
Barely
nice
anything
to
has dropped in
yeah.
general of
So
like R&B like this.
yeah, so it was really nice to kind of like just have this as a listening experience. Yeah, and this was all while not enclosing herself into one box or genre within the album as well. Like she obviously it's mainly R&B, but she had that acoustic pop, she had a bit of that reggae, she had a bit of that I don't know what you would call that future song like, but she had it.
Trap R&B.
Trap R&B.
Trap soul.
I just think that one. Let me. This is a positive thing. Positive thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna dive into it again. I really enjoyed this one. I'll take a few songs out, but it will be listened to again.
For sure. I have to agree with that last point, but mine is teetering here depends. Maybe slightly leaning towards the depends than the here. Just based on replayability. I think it's a nice project to chuck on, say me and Shella in the car just driving, just here's an R&B project to chuck on
Yeah.
while we're talking and stuff like that. But as something where there is standouts, there's not many tracks here that I'm like, I'll look at the track list, I'm like, I'm not sure I remember, like I can't recall.
I get that.
Apart from Here We Go. Here We Go it'll be that's in a consistent replay. But majority of everything else, I'm like, I feel like I need to grow on this, despite whether I liked you or I didn't like you. So yes, whilst I agree, great project. Coco Jones is destined for, again, a pantheon of R&B if she continues to make art on this caliber and more. But I'm keen to hear her flex. I'm keen to hear what's next.
Yeah.
And who she works with. It feels like there was a lot of just from there was no, it wasn't the full tag, but it sounded like there was a lot of hitmaker production.
I get that.
Yeah.
I
So
get that.
it would be nice to, and Hitmaker's a legend, great R&B producer. But I'm keen to hear Coco with a more diverse bag of R&B producers.
Yeah. I think she can definitely do more. I think just because like I think she's scared. I do think she's scared just because she's not one of the big dogs.
Yeah.
But she has the ability to be 110%. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this one? You know how we feel. Are you here for this? Are you feeling iffy? Or does it depend on the day? Anyways, let us know. We're going to go. We'll see you next time. We just reviewed the amazing Coco Jones with Why Not More. We'll see you next time. I'm Ifoma, aka Iffy.
I'm okay, the Culture Black here.
This is Grace.
Rue's review. Yeah, that's great. You're gonna see her tomorrow.
Yes.
On the single reviews.
That will make this will make sense.
Oh my goodness.
Awkward ending. It's okay. It's okay.
We'll catch you next time. Peace.